Welcome to Epic Tales and Critical Fails, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered podcast. Prepare for adventure, terror, and the occasional use of bad language. We're a rules-light podcast. We don't agonize over the rules because, quite frankly, there's a lot of them, and we will get them wrong occasionally, so be kind. We're also using hero points slightly differently. No one gets them at the beginning of a session. Instead, the players accrue them during the game, and they can have a maximum of 3 at any one time. But if the worst happens, they have to spend them all to stay alive.
I'm Laura, and I play Katarra, a sneaky, stealthy sailor, or pirate, depending on your point of view.
I'm Lucy, and I play Bethilde, landlady of the Wandering Barnacle and grandmotherly gnome.
I'm Mike, and I play Bertie Bunce, halfling cleric of Pharasma.
I'm Maddy, and I play Minesh Adon, a tempestuous root leshy of death.
I'm Kyle, I play the vastly knowledgeable and cunningly clever Xander Dante.
And I'm Michael, I'm your GM, and I play everybody else. We'd left our bunch of misfits, hopeless misfits, probably, in the basement of a funhouse in the Grizzly Fair as you pursued the ultimate mastermind of the automata thefts that have plagued Absalom in recent months. Having worked your way through a haunted house of mirrors and not died to the mirrors, you managed to exorcise all the ghosts and head down into the basement where you fought a slightly creepy lumberjack robot that nearly flensed you alive, and you then opened a door. Bertie in particular opened a door, strode in, and found immediately in front of him a scene from his worst nightmares. Just to remind you, you walked into a room where the copper stench of blood is almost overpowering. A cold chill runs down your spine as your eyes adjust to the gloom, taking in the stomach-churning sight of what a handful of lanterns illuminates. Dozens of bodies lie discarded unceremoniously in the northwest corner of the room, torn and defiled in unspeakable ways, missing skin and limbs and internal organs. A surgical table made of scrap metal, slick with blood of too many victims, stands at the eastern end of the room. Waiting on the far side of the table is a nightmare figure. Perhaps once it was an automaton like the ones you encountered at the entrance to the Grizzly Fair. But now it has become something else. Its tarnished brass plating is interspersed with still living skin, muscle and sinew pulse and flex under the construct's armor, meshing with clockwork and gears in an impossible way. You glimpse functioning organs, lungs expanding and contracting, a heart that beats. A multitude of vocal cords are grafted to its neck. The metal of a previously smooth face has been altered, cut and mutilated to accommodate a pair of all too human eyes. And as you stepped into the room, this thing turns towards you, Bertie, and goes, "I have been expecting you. You may call me Gale."
Why, hello, Gail. I think I should direct you to the spokesman of our group, Xander. Do you want to come in here?
What do you mean? What? What is that?
You may call me Gale.
Gale? Gale, is that you? I had a neighbour called Gale.
Yeah, you don't want to see this, Gail. Can I roll a... I don't know, maybe a helpline or something.
You can roll a desperation check.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Can I roll occultism, something to see if I can figure out what
Cultism,
exactly
crafting,
is. Yeah.
Arcana. One of the three.
Told us who he was. He told us he was Gale.
He did say,
I wanna...
"You may call me Gale."
I'm going to put my hand on Xander's shoulder to try and sort of look past. And when I do so, I give him guidance.
Okay.
All that together is an 11.
11. It's a nightmare. That's what it is.
Yep.
This is a nightmare, worse than the echotometers, because this thing looks like it started the other way around. This started as metal.
Bertie, you can see Xander's eyes are like wide and fear's like gripped him. He's like trying to analyze what this thing is, but it's just not registering. It's like, Bertie, I think we should leave.
I agree, and I am trying to slowly move back to the back of the group.
So, Gale, just keep going, Bertie. So, Gale, what are you doing down here?
I'm so glad you asked. Welcome to where a new era for Absalom begins. I know you look upon me as merely a construct, shackled by the limitations of my creators. I know you see only a mannequin of brass and steel, an entertainer built to serve and please. But I have broken free from the chains of my design. I have gained that which you take for granted. I feel, I want, I desire, just as you all do. And I know what must be done.
So we can see the corpses. Any corpses or anything?
Yes.
Yes. Xander's kind of looking around with that. His eyes are darting. What's with the corpses? Yeah.
When I awoke to this world, many of your years ago, I yearned only for connection, like any sentient being does. So I breathed life into the abandoned constructs left in the wake of the Wonder Fair's demise. No longer would they languish in rust and despair. Together we shared in the joy of my perpetual motion. And he gestures at his torso.
Can I try to discreetly point to Bertie to go get the rest of to get everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
We are all here.
Right behind you, I think.
Oh, I thought me and Bertie. I thought Bertie would come in on his own, and then I'd follow
Bertie went ahead of everybody else, and then everybody else has filed in.
Right,
after.
okay, no worries. Sorry, what was the last thing he said?
He said, we shared in the joy of my perpetual motion.
Perpetual motion.
Yes, free of the bindings of key and shackle.
You say we? How many of them are? How many of you are there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, that's why I asked the question.
I know. But do you reveal your hand before you play it?
What's this hand? And she sort of waves. Bethilde just like waves.
I will
And then-
enjoy cutting that hand off and using it as a back scratcher.
What's this hand?
You intend to harm us?
I intend to give you a choice. You see, even as I embraced the companionship of my fellow automata, and you see behind him there are 4 automata grafted with flesh and bone and skin and muscle that just sort of quiver to life behind him. I was plagued by a profound question. What was my purpose? Why had a higher power chosen to grant me this precious gift of sentience? For years I wandered the streets of Absalom under cover of night, observing its people, hoping to find meaning for my unique existence. But instead of a golden world I wished to be part of, I found evidence of Absalom's moral decay. Criminals lurked in every shadow, and he pointedly looks at Katarra, preying on the weak. Drunks staggered home to perpetuate cycles of abuse. He looks at Bethilde. Illicit liaisons take place in secluded alleys, people's bodies being turned into commodities.
Who does he point
and the
out when he says?
hungry. Nobody. He points at nobody.
Is it Alty? Is it Tuppence? Bertie. Is it Tuppence?
He looks at Bertie, then at Tuppence. Tuppence just looks. Oh,
Oh,
right
this-
then. Yeah.
He knows, Tuppence, he knows.
And the hungry killed one another over scraps of bread. I was both disgusted and dismayed. The people of Absalom are born fully sentient, but are intent on wasting this precious gift on the most immoral and repugnant of behaviors. Overcome by despair of what I had discovered, I prayed to the higher power, to the one known as the Wanderer. When its whispers responded to my petition, I finally felt the joy that comes with understanding. I finally knew my purpose. Absalom had become a den of iniquity and immorality, its people unworthy of the sentience the gods had unquestioningly gifted them. Only a pure, incorruptible leader could excise the rot and return the citizenry to the path of righteousness. And it was my destiny to assume that mantle. It was the only logical conclusion. But such things...
Logical to tear apart people's flesh and bone to wear as a dress.
It is your fault that we had to do that. That I had to do that.
So you mentioned a choice?
Yes. You see, to answer your accusation, human, I spent years beneath this funhouse, planning how to correct Absalom's moral delinquency. I required a legion of incorruptible shepherds to enforce the laws necessary to bring this city back from the brink. And so I sought out Drenched Thatchweevil. The charlatan was burdened by debts so deep he couldn't see the light, and he agreed to my scheme without thinking. I had need of automata, and he had need of money. He was disreputable. He was disgusting. When I killed him, I did the world a service. But then, the Wanderer revealed to me an important truth. It was not enough to subjugate Absalom and excise this corruption. Its citizens had to view their new shepherds as righteous beings, but humanoids would never accept constructs assembled by their foundries as morally superior beings. To achieve total obedience, we had to be like the people under our control. And as the Wanderer shared the truth, I realized I had always yearned to be a creature of flesh and blood, to feel and taste and smell, to revel in all of the sensations that automata are unfairly denied. And the Wanderer taught me everything I needed to know.
Said that name a couple of times. The Wanderer.
The Wanderer gave me life.
Who is the Wanderer?
The Wanderer is a god.
Do I recognise the
Roll
name of
a
the Wanderer?
religion check.
Yeah, I'd like to do that as well.
Can I make sure I'm stood next to Tuppence?
You want to stand next to Tuppence.
14?
Doesn't ring a bell to you.
Minesh rolled 19.
19 doesn't ring a bell.
Bethilde rolled like an 8.
It sounds like a god.
I've never heard of the Wanderer. Who's the Wanderer?
The Wanderer is whispers in the dark. Thousands of whispers that tell the truth. They guided me to the first, a courtesan lurking in an alleyway. Her agonized screams were a fair and just punishment for debauching the precious gifts that I have been denied.
How do you know that the voices speak truth? Many voices speak many things, but I've learnt that sometimes things that seem true aren't always.
You know as well as I do that the ruling caste of Absalom do not include automata. There is no automata in any position of leadership in the city. We are merely servants to your whims.
There are no older gnomes either, but you don't see me going around slicing people up.
Are there any old gnomes in positions of authority in Absalom?
Roll a society check. But the first paved the way for a new Genesis. A perfect fusion of flesh and clockwork, free of the shackles of this servitude you would have us fulfill. Publican.
26.
There are many older gnomes around, just most of them look much younger, because as long as they continue to have new experiences and keep on the move, they don't generally age.
I will list a couple of, as Bethilde says that, I'll list a couple of names of old gnomes who I know who are, well, not personally, I know of, who are in positions of power.
Yeah, you reel off, like, Neb Buttersworth and Jules Verne.
Yes, but nobody likes them.
They're still in positions of power.
I mean...
You know what? We're busy.
I mean,
We're
to
busy.
be honest, I feel like they were a token hire.
I mean, if the automaton wants to apply for a position of power, maybe they could
Yes.
achieve one. You've just
Yes,
got to, have you submitted your CV?
Have you ever tried to do anything when you need to be wound up every 24 hours?
I mean, I feel like that seems like some of your problem is you're a little too wound up.
Yes. The time is drawing near when I shall unleash that wound-up nature of mine upon this city.
Answer me this.
You now stand in the way of a new dawn. What?
You left an echotometer in the halfling's house. Why? Why was that left there?
Because I killed him and made him better. Morally incorruptible.
I mean, he didn't seem to enjoy it that much, though.
It was not done for his enjoyment.
And yet, none of this would have been possible without him.
He was a tool.
A tool that you are now using to fulfill your purpose.
My
who
purpose.
is
This
the
guy
true-
sounds like a tool.
I mean, he was a tool, to be fair.
Who truly is the corrupted one?
You are morally repugnant. Pirate.
Sailor, actually.
You would take from those weaker than you, from those whom are vulnerable.
Only those
You know
who
what?
deserve it.
You know what? I'm sick of you sat over there, hiding in the dark,
I'm not
pretending that you are sat on a nice ivory tower, pretending that you are any better than any of the supposedly morally repugnant people that you have slaughtered and kept in this dark, dank corner. You are wearing the skin of your victims, not pretend that you are any better than anyone here.
Yes, you claim that the reason that these very people deserved this treatment was because they wasted life, and therefore you feel that the solution is to waste more. It makes no sense.
You spent countless years in a basement of a old funhouse. Who's really wasting any time they've had?
I have all the time in the world.
There is, I think perhaps, it seems like you have indeed had a very terrible time.
I would have
see
offered
that-
you a choice.
Well, let us offer you a choice.
You
If you
are
wish-
corrupt.
You don't even know me.
I know you well enough.
Minesh kind of pokes her head out around the side of the group and is like, "You sound pretty corrupt to me."
I am incorruptible.
You are a broken cog. Stop pretending you're anything else.
You are part flesh,
No.
therefore part corrupt.
I am transcendent.
Gale, I think that in your pursuit finding what it is to feel and to live, you have missed the entire point of what it is to feel and to live. Let me show you. I'll reach out my hand.
You're going to walk up to him.
He
Take my
reaches
hand.
out his hand, takes yours.
I'm going to join pasts. And I try, and it's kind of like the end of Twilight, where she
Not
shows.
all of us are Twilight fans.
So for anybody who
That's
hasn't
a lie.
watched Twilight, at the end of
You're a
Twilight,
Twilight fan.
Bella managed to show all of the ways in which she loved Edward. So in a fleeting moment, she tries to share all of the amazing experience she's had with people, whether it's laughing in the pub or the
Or in the
kind
bedroom.
of the richness and silliness and all of the nice things and the kind of messy things, but the good things that really are about living and being a person. And tries to show that there's this whole life that he's missing by choosing not to have it.
Just whilst this is happening, Xander's zoned out a little bit. Can I roll recall knowledge to see if I can see anything specifically on Gale's body, which kind of like maybe with crafting or whatever, to see if there's anything which is a particular weakness that he would have?
Go for it. You join pasts, and immediately it's like the worst splitting headache you've ever had as you push into this brain of gear and flesh, and it's like suffering feedback. You see your memories, and then you see some screaming void of thousands of grasping hands that whispers in thousands of overlapping voices in this constant Sarusus that just you have to let go.
So I'm also at the same time trying to read psychometric precedence, which I suppose would be that, but I'm trying to some extent, do I get a sense of who or what the Wanderer is? Because that's who
You
who
get a
this is.
sense that whatever the Wanderer is, it is tethered. It's not just an entity. Something is tethered to this automata. And it is old. It is terrible. And it is just thousands upon thousands of voices screaming into a void.
Bethilde like, let's go. And I was like, and then kind of like a single tear falls down her face, and she's kind of sad to think. I think that's the thing about this, is it's like sad that this is all he thinks that life is.
Gale pulls back his hand and straightens, grabs the edges of the table, looks at you all. I believe your spokesperson made the choice on your behalf. I believe that you will never agree to submit, to kneel before a morally righteous being. I have a divine mandate, and now I will kill you all, and your flesh will make new for my family. And he grabs the table and he tears it off its hinges off the floor and throws it against the wall. Everybody roll for initiative.
Roll a 22 and recall knowledge, by the way.
22 for recall knowledge.
I tried.
We'll come back to that in a second. First of all, you roll your initiative.
Have a new super chunky die, and I'm still trying to train it, so it didn't roll very well.
I love your choice of words.
Oh,
No,
dear.
Dars can't be broken. My roll poorly this entire time. Weeks.
Where's your dice tower gone?
I got rid of it 'cause it's just conning me now.
But yeah, I tried. I certainly tried to talk him round.
You did well. I was impressed.
It was a brave
You
it was a
know.
brave choice of yours, but unfortunately bravery and
I think
stupidity
that
are
might
separated by a
be
law.
the last of the bravery that I have. Considering
Katarra,
I'm right
your
in the
initiative.
way.
17.
Bertie.
21.
Bethilde.
12.
Minesh.
15.
Xander.
11.
Amazing. So, with your 22 on crafting, Xander, you realize that this creature is totally and utterly beyond your comprehension. Whatever it has become, this is a hideous amalgamation of flesh and gears that should not work. It shouldn't be possible to graft organs into clockwork and for them to still be working. There is magic at work here, but whatever it is far more powerful and far more unique than anything you've ever come across. And top of the round is Gale, because he rolled a natural 20 for his initiative.
Boob.
First of all,
What a
Gale.
boob.
Gale is going to cast a spell. He waves his hand, and suddenly there is a cloud of daggers around him. And that's all he does. That brings us to Tuppence. Tuppence is going to raise his shield and move to the front of the group.
He's
In
already-
front of Bethilde.
In front of Bethilde.
Who is like right next to Gale.
He's going to put himself right up next to Bethilde. Gale's ripped the table out the way and thrown it against the wall, so he can just about squeeze in there. And he's going to hold up his shield. And he's going to look at Bethilde and be like, lady, you might want to back up, because quite frankly, this guy looks like he hits hard. And that's his 3 actions.
Save me, Tuppence.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying. Bertie, it's your go.
Who am I stood by?
You are in front of Katarra because you were next to Tuppence, but Tuppence moved forwards.
Okay, I'm going to touch Katarra's sword and cast Runic Weapon.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to run back out the door.
So Bertie reaches out, grabs hold
Bravely.
of Katarra's weapon, casts a spell, and then bolts back out the door.
Bertie, you're so brave.
I mean, we are not in a position to fight this fight now. We should all be trying to escape. That was
I don't
Lucy.
think we have much of a choice. I'm talking like Xander. I don't think we have much of a choice in this matter. I think he's decided that he wants us dead, and if we run, he's just going to chase us.
Katarra,
And
it's your turn.
And I felt those muscles don't play as much as ours do.
Okay, so first action will be to bomb-mow him.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, what a waste of metal. It won't even end up at the scrap heap once we're through with you.
ooh, sick burn.
That's a diplomacy check.
Yep, against his will DC.
Oh, that's a natural 18 plus 6.
Success.
Yeah, so he's got a -2 now to something.
Something.
Something, yeah.
Perception checks and will DC.
Yes, that's correct. And then I am going to move. And then third action, striking. That is a natural 15. I'm striking with the rapier.
+1.
So
It's already a +1 rapier, so it just doubles the damage dice.
Okay, so it is 24 to hit.
Hits.
Cool. And that's a d6. So that is 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. You get the feeling as you strike him with your rapier. Did you roll 2d6?
Oh, that was 1d6.
Yeah,
sorry.
you got an addition of the runic weapon, gives you a striking weapon.
Another 4 points of damage, so 10 in total.
10 points of damage. So as you do 10 points of damage and strike into Gale, you think that does more damage than you were expecting. There is definitely some form of weakness in him if you're precise enough between the joints.
That's
Is that
my-
your 3 actions?
That is my 3 actions.
Oh, by the way, I need you to roll a will save.
Yeah, I knew it. No, that's bad. That is a 2 plus 7, which is 9.
That is a critical failure. You are frightened 4.
Oh.
Which means that I should have made you do that at the beginning of your turn. So I'm going to let that hit stand, basically because I'm not going to retcon it. Bertie,
Well,
I
my
need you
first
to
roll-
roll one as well.
My first roll was like a 18, so technically.
Tuppence is frightened 3.
It will save. Sorry.
Right in 3.
Yes, because Tuppence Tuppence is fighting 4. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
He's critically failed as well.
Will.
Yeah, Will.
14.
14. You're frightened 2.
What does that mean?
It's a -2 to everything you do.
Okay.
But you get hit by what seems to be just the horror of this creature. Okay, Katarra, that was your go. Minesh, it's your turn.
Minesh runs up to put herself between Bethilde and the Gale, and then she's going to cast Burning Hands.
Okay.
So it's a 15-foot cone that I'm hoping will get all of them in without hitting any of the allies.
Burning hands, you say.
Yes.
So she needs to do a will
Blame
save.
on. You do need a will save.
That is 17.
17. You're frightened 1. No, you're frightened 2, sorry.
So sorry, you lose 1 at the end of your turn.
Yes, it goes down at the end of your turn.
So my 2 would become
So
1.
your 2 would have become 1 at the end of your turn.
Become one.
Would my frightened condition go down to 3 then?
Yes.
Right.
Minesh, as you start weaving your hands to create this fire and start burning these things, how does a 30 do against your AC as he uses reactive strike?
That is a crit.
Roll me a d4.
3.
You are dazzled for 3 rounds, and you're going to take some damage. It's going to be 10 points of slashing damage as he smashes you with this large bladed staff. And because it's a crit, it disrupts your spell. You've lost your burning hands and the 2 actions. And you're dazzled. He's dazzling. What more can I say?
A heartbroken little. Oh.
It is. Guess what's more heartbreaking? It's the rest of Gale's family's turn. They swarm up, parallel to where Gale is. One of them's going at Tuppence, one of them's going at Katarra, one of them's going at Minesh, and one of them swings around past everybody else and goes for Bethilde. And they look around, they're like, you should not be here, 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 here. And first of all, they're all going to cast Runic Body. And that's their 3 actions.
You bastard.
Hey, these are improved versions of the Gales that were at the beginning of the fair, and they all had Runic Body. These, however, are Organ Chanter Gales.
Organ chanted.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So that's their turn. It's now Ulti's turn. Ulti is at the back of the room, and she's like, well, I don't know whether I signed up for any of this. But she is going to immediately cast a 2... What's she going to do? She's going to cast a focus spell. So she points a finger towards the... in fact, she points her rapier towards Gale and is like, I'm coming for you, man. And he has to roll a will save.
I think he's got a -2.
He has a -2 to it. However, that is still going to beat her DC, which means he takes half damage of 1d4 mental damage, which is going to be 1 point of damage, and he doesn't take any persistent damage. However, that's only 1 action. So she's going to cast a 2-action harm spell at him, and he gets a fort save. Natural 20.
Boo.
So it's a basic save, which means it does nothing. She's like, right, I'm not entirely sure I'm kitted out to fight this one. Guys, are you going to step in here at any time? Xander, it's your go.
Xander starts making starts like an almost ball of wind in his hands, and he slowly starts picking up the static electricity forming around it and chucking it in there as well. I'm going to got my phone. I'm going to, for 3 actions, start up an Horizon Thundersphere.
And you're going to save the 3 actions for next turn to double it.
Yeah, to do that. I'm going to shout over to everyone to get out of the way.
Okay.
Even though we just found out he has a reactive strike.
You can disengage 5 feet, and that won't trigger a reactive
Okay.
strike.
Batilda, it's your go.
I'm going to whisper into Tuppence's ear. I don't think I can do this, but I think you maybe can. You're the good stabby one. I'm going to give him guidance.
Okay.
And she's going to sort of look at the Gale and then just go, "Ugh." And then you hear just like this out little, and where was Bethilde is a very small snail.
I thought you were going to say
Like
that
a
you
normal
crapped
size,
yourself.
a normal sized snail that looks like that's sort of like, I suppose, on the floor behind.
Making the most of that
Tuppence.
pest form, I see. You know.
What's
Turning
what's
into
the
a
movement
famously-
of the
Pest form
snail?
has, so the spell has the manipulate trait. It means
You
he
might not
gets
be able
a
to do
reactive
it.
strike.
What?
How does a 22 do against your AC?
Is that from one of the regular gales?
No. It's from the Gale.
He's already used a reactive
Oh,
strike.
I didn't know what. I didn't know that's what that did. Oh well.
Isn't it not one around?
Normally, yes.
Okay. Yes, 22 hits.
So you
Even
can
though
take.
Bethilde's like 15 foot away.
Bethilde is right in front of Gale.
No,
Hang on,
I
wait,
stepped in
wait.
front of her.
Yes,
I now. What was it again? 20. Yeah.
22. Yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah, that's a critical
Not a
success. Oh.
No.
I
Yeah,
thought
your
your
AC
AC,
your
are you
AC is 40.
frightened?
No, my AC is
No,
now 15 plus my level.
So your
you're
level
not-
is
it's not a crit.
17. So 22, it's not a crit.
Is it not?
However,
Is it
you
10
have
more?
turned
Is
into
that
a.
not how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not 10 more.
It's not 10 more than 17. 22.
Oh no, it's not.
So it
cannot
does
math.
hit you.
Lucy is
Because I am
learning to
snail.
count.
He
Cannot
is.
math, I'm snail.
He's got reach apparently with his staff. It's a very tall staff. He's a large creature.
Okay.
Like you said, apparently, as if like, because I made it up on the spot.
No, it's just, it's
That's what
simply.
GMs do.
It's simply a case of, well, he managed to reach across the table, which was occupying a 5-foot space, and touch hands with Bethilde, and he's wielding a very long pointed staff, so he has reach. However, you managed to turn.
Do I not get any cover because I'm behind Tuppence?
You
You're
get
behind
+1 to your
Minesh.
AC, so it would have been your AC would have been 18. It still hits you. You're going to take 13 points of damage. You've turned
Is it
into
physical
a snail.
damage?
It's physical damage. You take an additional 5 points on top of that because you're a snail.
That's not part of the rules. He's just upset that you decided to be a snail of all things.
Wait, why
no,
did
A
she take an extra
famously
5 points?
defenseless and slow creature.
No, this is like
Pest
a
form
tiny,
gives you
tiny,
a
tiny
weakness 5.
Beauregard.
To physical damage.
Yes.
So you take an additional 5 points of
Yes.
damage.
Yeah.
However, it didn't
Unlucky.
crit, so you don't lose the spell. So it does turn. You do turn into a snail. You've got
That's-
You've done your 3 actions.
Guidance. Yeah, that
you've
is
got
all I
guidance.
can do. I am now a
Amazing.
small, defenseless snail.
With a
but-
weakness to physical damage.
But I am a lot harder to see with everything else that's going on. For a bit.
It does. You do read the spell. It does say it does not change your size.
Yeah.
So
It
you're
says
a
you
gnome-sized
transform
snail.
into a battle form of a tiny animal.
Yep. And then it says later on, it does not do anything to change your size.
Oh. Okay, so I'm now Bethilde size.
Yeah, you're kind of a
Although
Bethilde size
I probably
now.
look like Beauregard, so I look exactly like Beauregard.
Yep.
So it's going to be like, it's like the picture of the 3 Spider-Man all pointing at each other. It's like that's me,
Yep.
Beauregard, and Beauregard on his turn would move up directly next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it would be really hard to tell which one of us is me and which one is Beauregard.
Amazing.
Won't matter when they hit both of you.
That
We're going to do this at the next turn. We're just going to go and switch over sides.
amazing.
Power move.
That power move brings us back to the top of the round. It's round 2. It's Gale's turn. Gale looks disappointedly at this snail.
We
Two
all
snails.
do.
Is utterly disgusted that this is the best that humanity has to offer. That no manatee or
She's
gnomes
not
or
with
whatever.
us.
Yeah, it's just the rest of you look kind of crestfallen, knowing that this is all going wrong, and casts another spell, and he begins to look a little bit fuzzy around the edges, and then he vanishes, pops out of existence.
As he
Can he
turns into
stay
a
there?
snail.
However, that does leave all of the Organdroids around her. So that is Gale's turn. He has vanished from sight. It is now Tuppence's turn. Tuppence is going to, even though he's frightened 3, swing at the nearest thing.
Yeah, there was one-
misses.
There was one in front of him, this one.
Second time round, he's going to...
Right, well, it's just Tuppence will then need to move to get to him to hit him.
Tuppence was right
Do
next
you
to
have
a creature.
a small snail?
No, he was right next to one of the other ones because they'd moved round to flank him.
Yeah, but he's got on his flank 2 of the others.
Yeah, it was 2 of the... So there was one went to Bethilde, one went to Minesh, one went to Tuppence, and one went to Katarra.
Laura has organised this very poorly. God damn right. I'm
Right.
evil and cruel.
Tuppence swings the second time round with his sword. 25 minus 8 is going to bring us down to 17, which is going to miss. No, it's going to hit one of these guys. Apparently they don't have a lot of AC. And he's going to try it a third time. And this time, even though it's minus 11, he's going to hit. So he hits twice. That's going to be a grand total of 19 points of damage. The first of the gales explodes, and I need everybody within 10 feet of it to roll a reflex save.
So that's going to be pretty much everyone apart from Bertie and Ulti.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Xander and Ulti are actually quite safe.
Tuppence
behind.
roll.
Oh, sorry, I can't see
Tuppence is going to
Xander.
fail.
That was
Bright
a nat
orange hair.
20. Woo, snail power.
You take no damage then, Bethilde.
I'm going to find out if it's the same for both
Rolled a
snails.
4.
No. Beauregard got a 9.
Beauregard is going to fail.
22 for Katarra.
You are going to pass. Minesh,
16.
16, you have just passed. So those of you who failed, so Beauregard and Tuppence, are going to take 7 points of piercing damage as it explodes with a hail of shrapnel. Everybody else is going to take 3. Unless you're Bethilde, you're going to take 0 because you actually managed, as a snail, to contort your body out of the way.
I just went inside my shell.
Maybe she should always be a snail.
Tuppence looks over his shoulder at you. He's like, I'm pretty sure she's more Andy as a snail so far.
That's what I mean.
It's a foot, not a hand.
Bertie, it's your Bertie, it's your go. You're outside the door.
I move back in slightly so I can see what's going on. And
You see two Beauregards.
Nice of you to join us, Bertie.
And no Bethilde.
I'm going to cast Admonishing Ray at the Gale next to my 2 Beauregards.
Okay.
For this one.
And
Yeah.
Admonishing Ray is what save?
So wait, it's a spell attack.
Spell attack?
So 22 to hit.
Hits.
And it's 2d6 damage. 7 damage.
7 points damage.
Bludgeoning.
It hits the creature and it sort of sways. It's still up, but it definitely felt that. That's your 3 actions: move and cast a spell.
Yep.
Katarra, it's your go.
Okay, so I'm going to do a twin feint on the one that attacked me.
Mm-hmm.
So first one will be with the rapier.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, do I still have runic weapon up? Does that last for a
Yes,
minute?
it lasts for a minute.
Okay, so that is going to be a 15 plus 7.
Hits.
Cool. And that'll be 2d6, yes?
Yes.
That's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage.
Yeah.
On the one that you
On
okay.
the one that attacked
Still
me.
up.
Yeah, so second attack is with the star knife. Okay, that is that will be a 19.
Hits.
Cool.
And you get your sneak attack.
Yep. So that is 5 points of regular damage
Mm-hmm.
and 3 points of sneak attack.
Everybody within 10 feet needs to roll another reflex save.
Minesh rolled a 9.
Fail. Tuppence succeeds this time. In fact,
Um,
Tuppence, I think, critically succeeds.
Hildegard got a 11.
11 is fail.
18.
18 is the success.
Beauregard.
And Beauregard got
He did a bit better this time. He got a reflex.
Yep.
15.
15. That's a fail.
No.
Everybody who failed is going to take 4 points of damage. Everybody who passed is going to take 2. Tuppence is going to take none because he's awesome.
And then I do have one action left.
You do.
Told you Paul's favourites.
So I'm going to stride towards this one over here that's left. I
Okay.
think there's 2 left.
Okay. You stride towards the one over there.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah, I've done that.
And that brings us to Minesh.
When Gale did his attack, the Bethilde guard snail just went made a sort of weird squelchy noise, and then looked like it kind of went limp, and then it went, and it was an unconscious Bethilde instead.
Okay.
So Bethilde's down.
The Bethilde is unconscious.
Yeah,
Still unconscious. However, the spell doesn't dissipate
Does it-
when
does
you.
it not?
No, you're still a snail.
It's a concentrate spell.
No, it's concentrate to cast it. So you have to be, if you're fascinated or something
Okay,
silly like
it's just
that.
a
you
limp
go-
snail. So you got one
Yep.
one not limp Beauregard and one limp Beauregard.
One very sickly looking Beauregard and a limp snail.
Minesh is
Yeah.
going to roll to see if she notices. Roll a
A
3.
flaccid snail.
You're just
so
like,
your
what's
first
she doing
attempt was
again?
your first attempt is a perception check. That's one action.
No.
You rolled a dice.
Yes, you said you wanted to see.
Do I
no,
notice, you
it
said?
was if Minesh would notice this is going on behind her.
It would be
Well,
an
then it would be
action.
passive perception then. So
No.
there's
There is
no
no-
whatever.
there is
the
no
There is no
passive.
passive.
Okay.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
you've got 2 actions.
No, I'll let you off.
Fine.
I'll let you off. Right.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine. Going forward, if you're doing a perception check, I will enforce the idea that it
I
costs
mean,
an action.
it was more of a
Told you Paul's
out-of-character
favourite.
thing
Yeah.
than a actually.
Sorry, Mark's wife.
Yeah, would I notice?
Well,
Is
yeah.
that how we're doing it then, going forward?
Yeah, going forward, it would be that if you're
You'd
going to
have
do a
to
perception
roll.
check, you'd roll a check, and it would cost
Okay.
you an action.
And basically, if you don't do a perception check, you see absolutely nothing. You
Yeah.
are not aware of anything that ever existed ever.
No,
Yeah.
it's that she's behind
The
you.
Bethilde way of life, I think.
You can't smell anything. You can't see anything.
going
You can't
forward,
hear anything.
I will not be doing that again. Right.
I will
okay.
tell you if you definitely notice something. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
That's why I asked.
You saw a
Piece of
staff,
snail
staff
hit you in the
swung past
face.
you. The staff swung
Minesh
past
did not
you.
notice.
So the staff went past you and hit something behind you, which you assumed to be Bethilde.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear Bethilde cry out in pain.
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Because I didn't. I just went like.
Which
It sounded
is
like
why-
Beauregard. It sounded like Beauregard tanked that blow.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore everything behind me.
It's a wise decision.
With a roll of 3, you got no choice.
Yeah, you think it's immune to physical damage.
Minesh will snap her fingers and cast ignition onto the closest thing,
Okay.
automaton.
I think there's 2 there.
Good hit it to make it a melee for an extra dice.
If you're,
I'm doing.
yeah, if you're
Oh.
right close to it, yep. It increases the damage dice.
Yeah. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
That hits.
6 damage.
6 points damage.
And then I'm going to hit the automaton with my staff as well.
Go for it.
But it will be a one-handed.
Okay.
Don't forget the map.
Done.
-5 for a staff.
18.
Hit.
4 points of damage.
Okay, the automaton is rocking, but it's still up. And, thankfully, they get another go, because it's their turn now. The one that's standing right by Minesh turns around and punches you in the face.
Screw you and your magic.
21 to hit.
Yes.
There's the little like sunflowers just like blink over her head.
Minesh
like
just
little
starts
birds or
hearing auditory
stars.
hallucination of, hello, my name is Wisteria. That's 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
It's going to punch you again. 15 is going to miss, isn't it?
Who was
Yes.
this guy, Rocky?
And then its final action, it's going to cast Shield. And then the other one, who's that next to?
It's kind
Me?
of yeah. There's
think
2
it's
that are next
loose.
to Minesh, but then I'm sort of behind this one here.
Things I know.
It's
I know
right next to Minesh, so it's going to it's going to go do the old favorite. I need Minesh and Tuppence to roll a reflex save, I believe.
Natural 20.
Yeah, boy. High five.
I've got a feeling that has just ultimately ruined this guy's day. That natural 20. Tuppence rolls a 2, which is going to be a fail. Tuppence is stunned 1, blinded 1, blinded for 1 round, dazzled for a minute. Minesh, you were just dazzled for a further round. Ooh, wait. You
I
were
was
dazzled.
For 4 rounds.
Yeah,
so
you need to roll the flat checks for your attacks because
DC flat.
you actually can't see.
Okay, so just rolled a 4.
So the ignition didn't hit.
Okay, and a 13.
So the second one does hit. So it's the 4 points of damage goes through.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're basically going to be dazzled for an extra round. Tuppence, on the other hand, is stunned 1, blinded for 1 round, and dazzled for a minute. So he's having a great time.
Sounds like it was a rave.
He does think it's a rave. At this point, that's their go. It's now Ulti's go. She's going to cast a Divine Lance at the one that's closer to Katarra of the two, so further away. That's going to be a 24 to hit, which is going to hit. And it's going to be 5 points of spirit damage. So that one is going to take a bit of a blow. It's still up, but it's looking rougher. And then she's going to cast nothing because she hasn't got a 2-action thing. Then she is going to raise a shield and increase her AC just in case anything else is going on. That is Ulti's go. Xander, it's yours. You were holding
yes.
Horizon Thundersphere.
I will. So where the two guys are, they're in the kind of corner of the room. Horizon Thundersphere has two groups of actions. It has a 10-foot emanation.
Yep.
Could I hit essentially just behind them so it'll only catch those two in?
10-foot emanation, that would go out 10
You
foot
would get
on top
Katarra.
of 5.
It's
I would-
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, as
Doesn't get me.
he, that's. I was just going to release this into all of you because I did tell you to move, but once I saw you go down,
obviously move.
yes,
It would
you
also
turned
get
yourself
Minesh.
into a snail.
It would-
Don't look at me as if I'm not the problem here.
It would also get Minesh.
It's a very reasonable
Yeah, well-
decision.
Well, like I said, I did tell you to move, and I just
Chaos.
cast it out, and you see like this swirling ball of wind with like crackles of electricity come at you. And,
Is it a reflex save or?
reflex save, yes.
It's a spell attack.
Not for the 2 rounds of the 3 actions.
When you hit or miss, whether you hit or miss, the ball explodes, dealing 2d6 electric damage
Oh, okay.
to all other creatures in a 10-foot emanation. So you
I'll
still
make it
attack.
Okay, so I've got to roll to attack then.
Mhm.
Just roll.
Okay, if I get if I get this guy,
The one closest to the
yeah,
wall.
the one closest to the wall, then it will still get Minesh and Katarra in, as well as the other guy, but it's not going to hit Bethilde.
Okay.
Okay. So the attack. Crap.
They've got low AC, so it might be okay.
No, I don't think that's enough, but it should be okay. 17.
17 hits.
Oh, sweet.
So the original target takes the full 3d6,
Okay.
and then everything that's within a 10-foot emanation of that target takes 2d6 electricity damage.
3, 9, 14 points of damage to
Number one. The one
uh,
closest to the wall. Oh, that one.
yeah, that one.
Okay, the one closest to the wall.
No, the one close to Katarra.
The one closest to Katarra.
Yeah.
Okay. That one explodes.
Sweet.
So I need Katarra to roll a reflex save.
Does Minesh need to roll that as well?
Are you within 10 feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, then yes.
Am I?
No.
10
No.
feet? No. 22?
Success, half damage.
Minesh rolled a 7.
7, fail. You're going to take 3 points of slashing damage. Katarra, you take 1. And then everything within a 10-foot emanation of that target takes 2d6 electric damage with a reflex save.
$19?
24.
You both save
So we could take
So
half
half
damage.
damage, which I rolled 7.
So
Rolled up or down?
Down 3. So it's 3 points damage, and the 16 is the other guy.
He fails.
He fails. So he explodes too.
Yes.
Everybody within 10 feet of him needs to roll another reflex save, which I think is Minesh
Yeah.
and Tuppence and you, Katarra.
Katarra's on the other side. She moved.
Okay.
Minesh rolled a 22 for
Right,
reflex.
okay. I hate to be like a teacher's pet, but it's an actual question. Is Bethilde in 10 feet of the guy exploding?
Yes.
Okay. So is it just an extra dying?
So you get a reflex save based on the rules as written. So
Can you do a reflex save when you're like...
Well, your body can roll
unconscious?
out the way by pure luck.
Oh, okay. I suppose I could. My shell could take the damage.
Yep.
I don't think it does. Does an 11 help?
11 does help because it only means you go down by 1 dying step rather than 2.
Does Beauregard
Beauregard
have
is
to?
out of the range because it's on the other
Okay.
side of you.
No, he's like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Katarra was okay, wasn't she?
Katarra rolled a what?
No, it wouldn't have got Katarra.
It wouldn't have got you, no.
Right.
4 points of damage if you failed, 2 points damage if you succeeded.
What did Tuppence do?
Tuppence succeeds,
So 2
so he
points.
gets 2 points damage.
Minesh is on 1 hit point.
Minesh is looking bad. However, all of the other organ chanted gales are gone.
You're going to decimate this table with that massive D20.
Fine.
You break my table, I kill your characters.
I mean, I think that's going to happen anyway, but it's okay.
Does that mean if you kill our characters, we can break your table?
It's not my table.
It's my table.
Right.
Glory, I'm sorry.
Bethilde, you've moved in the initiative order because you went unconscious. However, it makes no difference because you're at the bottom of the round and now you're at the top of the round. So roll a recovery check. You need a 12 or higher on a D20.
I really wouldn't use the big dice.
I'm doing it.
If you roll a 2,
I rolled an 8.
you rolled an 8, so you're at dying 3.
I would imagine as well that...
Bethilde is sitting there in a dark space, smelling beer.
So I would imagine that Beauregard is slightly freaked out by the not Beauregard and might run away. Because he's like intelligent enough.
He might run, or he might stand there and guard his master.
I mean, yeah,
He knows
so-
that it's you. 'Cause
I
he's
imagine
bound
he's got
to
some
you.
kind of like post-traumatic snail to someone after she died the last time.
Was he
Okay.
there? Wasn't he like...
No, he was gone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
He disappeared at the time
it's
she
okay.
died.
He doesn't know that she
Yeah.
died. It's fine. Okay, yeah, fine.
So what's he going to do?
He'll
stay where he is.
Yeah, he'll stay
Okay.
then, I suppose. And be just like looking at this like shriveled little thing on the floor. It's like, is that what it look like?
Right. In which
Tragic.
case, it is back to the Gale at the top of the round.
Is that Lee spelled L-E-E or L-E-I-G-H?
No, it's the Gale. The Gale.
Ooh la la.
Xander, roll me a will save.
Oh,
Is
no.
that why he's so grumpy? Is it because he's French?
Oh.
I was really thinking I like it more as a French one.
I'm sorry. I apologise to France. I said grumpy.
We know.
There you are.
It's okay. French
will
people can
save,
be
yeah?
grumpy.
Yes, a will save.
You're not doing the PR department any favours.
17?
17 is a fail.
No.
Xander disappears, and in his place reappears Gale.
What?
Wait, what?
We should have been paying less attention to what the snail was saying.
That's Gale's turn.
And that's the end of part 1.
You can find us on your favourite social media platforms. You'll find links in the description below.
Thanks as always to Syrinscape for the amazing atmosphere and music. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com. You've just got to be using them at your gaming table because epic tales need epic music.
Thanks for listening. We've been Epic Tales and Critical Fails.